While for people, the start of 2021 was, let's just say, not ideal. For wildlife, this was a time to carry on stocking up with food for the long winter ahead. For us, it was a time to get to the coast. We spent quite a bit of time watching wildlife at places like Montrose Basin and down on the beach, watching clockwork sanderlings working their way along the sand, and oyster catchers getting grubs from deep down with their long powerful bills. It was a good time to look for wildlife, and we even run into a real specialty. At a local nature reserve, a flock of bullfinches were feeding on sycamore seeds down by the ground. It's easy to tell why in Scandinavia these are seen as the bird of Christmas. Here, the weather was starting to get colder and colder, the lakes were starting to freeze, and what started out as a reasonable dusting of snow soon developed into probably the biggest snowfall we've had in maybe 5-10 years. In places this must have been well over 3 feet deep. We did make the most of this. My family loves snow and we decided to try and get out as much as we can, having great fun sledging down some of the local hills, making sure we were a long way from other people. But everywhere you went it was obvious that the birds were having a hard time. In our garden, a fieldfare appeared, only the second time I've seen them regularly in all the years we've lived in our house. Also, some of the creatures from the high tops were becoming more and more apparent lower down, from mountain hare to red deer. Red deer should be right out into the hills now. However, this one was photographed right by the side of the road. There were hundreds everywhere. We tried to give food whenever possible to the birds, and as we cooked our lunch, the robins and blackbirds were making the most of the opportunity themselves. But more worrying were some of the other birds that were seen that really we shouldn't have been seeing. For example, we spotted a tawny owl. Tawny owls should roost somewhere safe and secure, whereas this one was spotted by the side of a road. But a trip to Kirriemuir brought another surprise. Right, so I'm back up at Glendall car park, and we came up here with the boys. They've got a day off today, so we're working on a bit of an igloo and to photograph some of the small birds like the robins that I photographed last time in the video on sort of a magical winter's day. And we've got another one. We've got a bit of a surprise today. One of the most common birds of prey in this area, I believe, is the barn owl. And at night you see loads of them. I was talking to somebody on one of the estates recently who reckoned on their estate they had 14 nests. But the thing is, in Scotland, because there's an abundance of food, and I think the limiting factor on their spread numbers is winters like this, they're purely nocturnal. And in all my time photographing wildlife in Scotland, I've seen 2 barn owls during the day. One was last week, about a mile from here, and there's another one here today, which is quartering the fields, and seems to be hanging around some barns near here, but it's flying around. I've abandoned the kids to their igloo making. I've got a few photos which I'll show you. Maybe not the best in the world, but it's over in the distance now, I can see it. So I quite often with these videos think, I wonder if people believe me that I'm actually seeing what I'm seeing and not sort of using photos I've taken another day. I just thought I'd show you the back of the camera. It's a bit of a crop, but I'm happy with that considering I've never taken photos of a barn owl in Scotland. Back in Yorkshire where I was brought up, you see them during the day quite regularly. But up here,
you just don't see them. They're just nocturnal. Oh, I hope he gets enough food. I think, as I say, this is the limiting factor for barn owls in Scotland, is they just don't cope very well with this sort of weather. So I think there's plenty of food. I mean, this year's been an amazing vole year. Absolutely tremendous vole year. Up in the mountains, it's just been hooching with them. That's a technical term. Well, just to add to the mix, and I'm almost certain I haven't got any photos, and if I have, they're not very good. I just had a bit of an altercation between two kestrels in the barn owl. It's a bit of argy-bargy going on. It's all happening. It really is all happening. Where's the barn owl? Now I'm a bit short of gloves, so I'm having to wear these mitts. They're really nice and warm, and whenever the owl appears, I have to quickly take them off again. Kestrel's flying back over. Barn owl's up. Oh, good. I'm almost certain the barn owl's got something in its talons. Yeah, maybe not. It's just dropped into the same place again. Oh my goodness, it is bitterly cold. So while I've been neglecting my children, they've been building this. That's fabulous, Ollie. Absolutely fabulous. So a few bits of technical information. I'm shooting at f5.6, 600mm lens, and it's dark. It's quite dark. So it's ISO 2000. I'm using the centre points with expanded autofocus. And it's really quite harsh now, conditions. Back button focusing. Barn owl's actually going to get shelter now. It's still hunting. Oh my god, it must be desperate. This is a bit desperate, but I've got a bit of film of it for you now. He's sat on her fence quite a way off. My kids are still building the igloo. I think we're going to have to get out of here because this is a possibility of drifting snow. Oh, it's flying. Way though. Say, I hope it's had enough food and it can actually head into one of these barns, these outbuildings here, and get into the warmth, because it's just not designed for this sort of conditions. They're not really waterproof. Owls sacrifice waterproofness for silent hunting. However, I suppose the only good thing is that this is so cold that it's not actually that wet. But I hope it's got enough food. This is desperation for it to be out in these conditions, it really is. It's desperation for me to be out in these conditions as well. Oh my goodness. Right, I'm going to beat the retreat. I've got plenty of stuff in the car to keep us warm. We've had hot food for lunch. I brought the cooker out. Got the Trangia and the jet boil stove out. If you're interested, mutton sausage with tomato sauce and gnocchi. It was really good. Just what you need. We do this quite a bit, taking the cooker out with us when we're going around. I'm going to gather the kids. Right, this is just getting too cold, too harsh. And the sad news for this owl is that the forecast for tomorrow is worse. The day after that, the forecast is wet. You have to say, it's a shame barn owls don't migrate. They should really be getting away from this sort of conditions at this time of year. It's just not designed for it. To say that's why, I think that's why I think you don't see them during the day, because food isn't a problem. They can catch all the food they want at night, and there's plenty of other predators here. Things like kestrels and barn owls are just easy pickings for a peregrine falcon. You know, they're staring at the ground, they're not looking above them. So that's why they're fully nocturnal here. But I think this conditions is going to hit them hard. I think we'll lose quite a lot of barn owls this year, I'm afraid. Good luck, bird. Good luck.
We never did work out how to put a lid on that igloo. And on the way home, we saw another deer walking into the distance. I thought that was a fitting way to end. So thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing the video. There'll be more content soon. Bye for now.